Chubb gets up and hammers it home.
Luger bounces it inside to Mooney, who jams it home.
To a cutting Jogo for the two-handed jam. It's to Fluger for the two-handed jam.
Swatted by Durham. Jams with two. Another rejection.
Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Bray. I'm Jack Nolan, and Coach, tough week for your team. The two best teams in the ACC, and possibly the entire nation, came into Purcell Pavilion, and they both put a whooping on you.
They put it on us, and it was bad timing, Jack. Again, we had two great teams in Virginia and Duke come in, and we're really searching right now, so the timing wasn't great. A really good and old, tough Virginia team and a young and amazingly talented Duke team. Was disappointed with how we competed in the Virginia game. Felt better about how we competed in the Duke game as we're trying to grow young guys.
Your personnel issues are well documented. You don't have enough right now to battle against teams like that. But a little bit of good news this week. You're expecting to get Juwan Durham back for Boston College.
Yeah, and he's been in practice this week and feeling better, and we got to play him and get him out there. There's no question we miss him. And with the games remaining, you just want to get him experience. We want to keep growing him.
His impact has been tremendous. He can really change games, and you need an extra piece to change some of these upcoming games.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And the league we're in now and what this league has become, having him back will help us. He's the leading shot blocker in the league. He shoots 60% from the floor, so we have got to play him, and we need him.
One group was on the top of their game last weekend, and that was the Notre Dame fan base. They turned out in force. They cheered as loud as they could, and there were highlights for the Irish in both games. We'll take you to the Virginia game right after this. You began the week by hosting Virginia, the best defensive team in the country. You needed to get off to a great start. You fell behind 12-0, couldn't get out of that hole.
Yeah, and it's so hard for us, I think. It's hard for any group when you're not scoring early to kind of stay focused, maybe on the defensive end. But when you have younger guys, they're even more fragile in that department, and that was like the perfect storm of happening early in the game.
You did go on an 8-2 run late in the half that was powered by consecutive threes from Dane Goodwin, who was putting together a stretch of really high-level play in every game.
Yeah, he is getting better and being more aggressive and not turning shots down. We've been on him about that. He has to try and score for us because we need that other scorer. So I think he's, in the midst of us having a difficult season, he is understanding how to be a more aggressive offensive player.
Early in the second half, you put together a 15-6 run, cut their lead to 12, you hit 5 of 7 shots, and this building was rocking for a while.
And our crowd was great, as you mentioned earlier in the show, Jack. They were really here for us, and you're right. They call timeout, and you're thinking, hey, maybe we can get over the hump a little bit, but we just couldn't sustain it.
For you guys to be successful, two guys have to be productive. John Mooney has every game. He had a couple of threes in that run. DJ Harvey added 7 points in that run.
He got going for us as well, and again, Johnny's been flat out amazing. The key for him is to keep his body fresh as hard as he plays. DJ gave us good stuff. We're just trying to make him more consistent as he grows in our program.
We're going to keep hammering on John Mooney. 15 points, 10 rebounds. That gave him 12 on the season, with another one coming up later in the show. His 6th straight, 7th straight's coming up in the next segment. He's been ridiculously good.
He's really been good, and really proud of him. He is setting the tone for us. He's become a leader for us. We made him a captain in December, and he's in charge of a lot of young guys, but certainly how he plays has been inspiring to the young guys on our team.
And how unselfish is Chris Doherty? It was the 5-year plan. You said, hey, Chris, we got to play you now. He's missed most of the season, but he has an impact every time he comes into the game. He played 7 minutes in this one, 4 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist.
He's an active guy. His teammates love him. He's got great strength. He does the dirty work, and he has got a really bright future with us. Again, we would have loved to make it a 5-year deal, but our numbers said we need you now.
One of the great things about your regime is just about any given night, any given day, your team has a chance. you knew it was going to be really, really uphill. You're realistic about that. What you weren't happy with is for the first time this year, your guys just didn't compete like they have in every other game.
I thought, they really took our spirit. Their older guys took our spirit of our young guys, and we weren't sticking our nose in there. Like you said, we've had everywhere else. We've really competed hard, and that was the disappointing thing for us, and I think our group certainly accepted responsibility in practice on Sunday.
So the Irish lose it to third-ranked Virginia, 82-55, and had just one day to get ready for second-ranked Duke. How did the Irish respond? We'll show you right after this. As we mentioned, the game against Virginia was the first game this year where your team didn't battle for 40 minutes. So you responded by walking into the locker room and saying, we're practicing at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. You practice twice on Sunday.
Yeah, we needed to compete, come back in Sunday morning. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. And when you have great kids, which we do here at Notre Dame, they responded really well. For about 45 minutes Sunday morning, we went after each other, and we needed to because we didn't do it on Saturday, and I think it set a better tone for us for Monday.
And you came out with great energy, but Duke still jumps out 17-2.
Yeah.
They've got at least 3 lottery picks and 5 NBA picks on that team, and it just jumped right out at you from the beginning.
Yeah, they jumped on us early, and maybe the most talented team I've seen come through this building in my 19 years. We kept scratching and clawing, but, and again, our fight was better, which is, with young guys, you're trying to set some bars as far as compete level and energy level. But their overall talent and then their ability to switch and get in passing lanes made it, again, hard for us to score.
In some of the games leading up to your game, they had been playing more 2-3 zone. I had not seen them do what you just said, not only get in those lanes, but they were up in your guys' shirts more than I had seen them all year.
Really did, switched a lot of stuff. You really couldn't make passes. It became a couple ball screens and someone had to drive, and we were doing the best we can with it. But their athletic ability, luckily we got a couple putbacks and a couple offensive rebounds to kind of keep hope alive.
After the slow start, you get a 3 from TJ Gibbs, and then Nick Jogo chimes in. He comes in with a tip in. He gave you 21 really solid minutes, 7 points, tied his season high with 6 rebounds.
Yeah, I thought he was really good for us, Jack. He gave us energy, he gave us toughness. Nick's an older guy in our program, and hopefully he can do that, through February.
You fell behind by 19, but again, this game, the theme was you did battle. Prentice Hub helps you with a 7-0 run. His 3 at the end of that run, you cut it back down to 12. That seemed to be the magic number.
Yeah, 12. We couldn't get that thing to 12. We get it to 12, and Williamson hits a 3, and that's what you want to give up for him. But I thought Prentice Hub, back to what you said, I thought it was a good night for him. He's competing, he's looking to score, he's making some plays. Again, we're trying to grow him in the midst of the big picture here.
What do you think it was about playing Duke? Because I mentioned it on the air. Hub had a look he's never had before, and it didn't matter about the score. He was relishing going after and going at these guys, and he did give them some problems. He had 13 points.
I think a combination of bouncing back from a disappointing Saturday, and also, for him, this is his first time playing against Duke, and it was a big stage, and he's never been afraid, and that's the one thing I love about him. And so I thought for him, something to build on, even in a loss.
Down 18 at the half, and again, around here with the bar you've set, losing by double digits is never acceptable, but you know the situation you're in. After beating him 5 times, your former boss is not going to back off, and he didn't. Their starters were into the end of the game, but you basically matched Duke basket for basket in the second half.
Yeah, I thought, again, we battled. We got into a little better offensive rhythm in the second half. We were able to pass it and move it and cut a little. We played a little bit of zone, and that helped us. That saved us a little bit. Again, given where we were Saturday against Virginia, our overall fight for 40 minutes was a key for us, not necessarily the score, given where we are, who we are in the big picture of this youth movement. So hopefully something to build on as we move toward Boston College.
You want your captains to take responsibility. sometimes they can take too much. That may be what TJ Gibbs is continuing to do. He's still struggling shooting. Yep. He had 12 points, but he's not backing off. He had a game-high 4 steals.
Yeah, he's a fighter, and the kid is a fighter and a competitor, and I don't want him putting the weight of the world and blaming himself. He just wants it so bad for his group, and we want to just keep trying to help him and put him in positions to make some shots. I think the law of averages kicks in for him. Maybe it's February when it kicks in.
Duke did the best job of defending John Mooney that anybody has all year, but it still didn't stop him from getting his 7th straight ACC double-double. He has 13 on the year to lead the league. He ended up with 14 points and a game-high 11 rebounds.
To go double-doubles against Virginia and Duke tells you the caliber of player he has become and what he's doing this year. I mean, I am just so proud of him. He's setting himself up to be a All-American candidate as a senior when he comes back, and he's become a great captain.
Duke is enormously talented, and I know this is a Notre Dame show, but I got to ask you about Zion Williamson. He may be the most athletic player I've ever seen on this floor.
I've never seen anything like this. I've been in college basketball for over 35 years. I have never seen anything like Williamson. The explosiveness, the bounce, and then I think what is great too, he handles all of this with grace. He's a great kid. I read his quotes, and he's a good teammate, and the utmost respect for him, and again, a total freak of nature.
And all of that doesn't make it any easier to swallow the final score. Duke beats Notre Dame 83-61. The Irish, however, do battle and live to play another day. When we come back, Jawan Durham will fire this week's Inside Notre Dame Basketball Fast Break questions at Prentice Hub. Two of the youngest members of this year's Irish squad have already demonstrated their ability to change games. Jawan Durham, the ACC's leading shot blocker, and Prentice Hub, who is one of the league's top ball handlers and assist men. On this week's player edition of the Inside Notre Dame Basketball Fast Break, the junior Durham fires the questions at the freshman Hub.
Hello, I'm Jawan Durham, and welcome to the Notre Dame Fast Break player edition. This is our freshman, Prentice Hub. Got a few questions for you, Pete. All right, your favorite food?
Fried chicken.
All right. Celebrity crush?
Megan Good.
Oh, I like that. All right, North or South dining hall?
Neither. Which one?
All right, your favorite NFL team?
The Redskins.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Favorite part about the new facility?
Probably massage chairs.
Best dancer on the team?
Nate.
Worst dancer?
Robbie.
Best singer?
Jawan.
Thank you. All right, worst singer?
TJ.
Favorite coach hump line?
Seriously?
All right, favorite coach airs line?
He don't even say anything. He just like look at you all weird. So it's like,
yeah, he's one of those guys. I get it. Best defender on the team?
Jawan.
I like that. Best shooter?
TJ.
Best dunker?
DJ.
All right, fastest on the team?
Me.
Slowest on the team?
TJ.
Who's the funniest?
Definitely me.
Smartest?
Definitely me.
All right, that's all we got.
A couple of guys who are really laid back off the floor, but really high energy guys on the floor.
No question, great competitors, and as you can see from that, they love each other. They have personality. It's fun being around kids with personality, and they're smart and they have a sense of humor, but both of them young players with a really bright future in our program.
Oh, and guys that you need to be leaders for you in the coming years, maybe before this year ends, so it's good to see the connection that they already have.
No question, and I think Hub is starting to become a leader because he has the ball in his hands and he talks. I was very impressed in the timeouts in the Duke game. I would get to the huddle and he was doing a lot of the talking, and I told him, I said, don't hold back even though you're a freshman. The old guys respect you and you have good things to say.
And we saw in this segment where Jawan was kind of guiding and commenting on Prentice's answers that he's got it in him to be a leader as well.
He does. This is such new territory for him. And again, I'm so excited that he's healthy and we can move forward playing him. But there's a lot to work with Jawan Durham, and we've got more years to do it.
A really interesting question for Coach Bray on the TireRack.com Ask Coach Bray segment is coming up right after this timeout. It's time now for the experts at TireRack.com question of the week for Coach Bray. This week's question comes from Rich Palmer of Clifton, New Jersey. Coach, why have the Notre Dame men's and women's basketball programs not offered the full number of scholarships permitted to build depth, develop younger players, and protect against injury setbacks?
Oh, that's a great question. And I can't answer for the women's program, but, you know, we've always tried to be at around 12. 13 is our limit. 12 is a pretty good number for us. It's hard to keep 13 and a full allotment happy, and I don't want kids transferring, even though we did lose Elijah Burns in that realm. What you try and do, as we've done with Liam Nelligan, and I think Muffet has done with a number of walk-ons, is have some other bodies ready for practice. But, you know, 12 is a pretty good number for the men's side of it, and if we can keep it at 12 with one there that you could give if a transfer emerges at Christmas, that's not a bad thing to have.
And a lot of folks don't realize there's a budgetary component as well.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the scholarship from your budget. If the young man is not going to play and going to be unhappy, it doesn't make any sense to put those resources into that position.
Yeah, and that's about $75,000. So there's no question there is a little bit of that. No one has ever come to me and said, hey, you can't use 13 scholarships because we're on a budget crunch, you know, which has been great. Everybody, we're fully committed here. I don't want to give that impression. But it is, when you have 13, you know, is everybody happy? Is, you know, that's an interesting dynamic to manage too. So it's a fine line. Having too many, not having enough, you're always trying to find that balance point.
It is rare that just one play has a major impact on a college basketball game. However, an outstanding performance by a single player can have a huge impact, both short and long term. With that in mind, we have changed our weekly Notre Dame Ticket Exchange, powered by Vivid Seats Play of the Week, to Performance of the Week. And this week, the award goes to a veteran player the Irish will need to consistently contribute the rest of the season, junior Nick Jogo. Against Duke, Jogo turned in the best overall performance of the season for him. In 21 minutes of action, Nick scored 7 points, blocked 2 shots, and grabbed a season-high tying 6 rebounds.
Back to Mooney for 3. That one is no good. Tipped up and in by Nick Jogo. Mooney cross-court hub in the corner. Jogo for 3. Got it. And stolen. Here comes Jogo all the way in for the two-handed tomahawk jam.
Nick Jogo having one of the best nights of his Notre Dame career.
Nick's a really athletic guy who is starting to really help you on the floor, and you need him right now.
Yeah, we do. We need his maturity. He does have experience. He played a lot last year, and he's played this year. But again, coming off the Duke game, we're going to start him against Boston College and give him a start. He has given us something that we need right now.
When we come back, we will preview Notre Dame's upcoming 2-game road trip. All right, this week, 2-game road trip at BC, at Miami, and you think this comes at a good time?
Yeah, I think it's good for us to get on the road a little bit and have our backs against the wall. And we got to play Boston College, who, you know, we stole one from them here. And we got to try and now beat them a 13th straight time.
Yes.
I mean,
that'll be easy, right? Haven't beat you since 2004.
Yeah, amazing. And they're playing very well. Miami is in the same situation we are. They've had some bodies down, and they're searching for something to kind of spark them. So, again, for our team, whoever we play in this league is a big-time challenge, who we are right now. So we will head to Boston and let it rip.
And then head to Miami, and then we'll come back and we'll tape another show, and we'll show you all the highlights of Notre Dame's games at BC and Miami. Coach, as always, thank you for the time. Folks, thank you for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also brought to you by Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.